a few new people, not me, but a couple new people. Actually, there's a fair amount of new people with the GAs. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what this group is. We started kind of this group when the very first spring I was hired by Outreach, and I wrote a tiny little grant to try to get a tiny little cohort of faculty together to try podcasting in their classes, and Deb was one of them, and Trisha Johnson, and Meg Van Balen Wood, right? No, she was in the second one. Who was the third one?
Diane.
Diane Kimson, yeah, and Meg was in the next one. So I didn't have to convince Debbie. Debbie was all about it. But I had to convince Trisha and Diane that they wanted to actually try something new and exciting. And what we found, I think, from that first group was that the most valuable piece of it was that I made it a group that we met together and we talked about stuff and we brought ideas and things to the table, and it became this faculty learning community. And you know, there was something special about those first couple of groups. I think partly because they were small and had very specific goals, and so that the bigger group isn't quite the same, and it doesn't work quite the same, and it's not quite as maybe quite as tight, I guess I would say, but it still is. They're still very helpful. So our goals with these are often just to get together, talk about stuff we're doing with our technology, you know, talk about how our teaching. This one, we have a couple of these. This is a distance learning guild, so this one is not specifically, but generally kind of basically focuses on distance teaching. It kind of goes anywhere you want it to go. Then we have one called eLearn, which is
eLearning Guild.
eLearning Guild, which is we open up to the whole campus. This one's not closed, but generally people who are teaching distance are more in this one. The eLearning Guild is campus-wide. I'm trying really hard now that Meg has gotten the job as an instructional designer in ECTL, that they will take eLearning on for us and be in charge of getting that organizing together. I was like, why do I need two of these? I don't feel like I need two of these. They could be the same group. And so if they can do one tonight, we can do one, and that'll be great. And we can all be members of each other. So that's kind of what the purpose of this group is. And we find that we have found that the cross-disciplinary, just sharing all of our different strengths and everything is really helpful as a group. And so that's kind of what we do here. Anything to add? You guys that have been here for a while? Karen?
No, the neat thing is you can bring people in,
right?
You know, off campus, because half of the faculty in my department teach on load on campus, but the rest are out in the world, including the woman from Germany who's going to.
We're trying to get in right now.
But others, you know, a lot of people. I need to remember to tell people about this more, because a lot of people don't know that this is an option. And sometimes meeting during the day with people who work, like some of my distance adjuncts, doesn't work as well. But if they know, and it's only once a month,
right,
a lot of them could schedule around it. And that's a very positive support system for them.
I agree.
That all of us who have faculty at a distance should think about trying to get them into this.
For sure. And I'm hoping that at some point this Canvas will slow down, and then my focus will become less Canvas and more back to this kind of stuff, because this is more but like for the last year now we've been running hard with Canvas, and hopefully after the fall transitions we'll see what happens. And today is the last day to get stuff out of eCompanion. So if you have something still floating around in there, you might want to get in there. I realized that I hadn't done anything with my classes. So I was like, oh, geez. I'm a bad faculty. Anyway, I was so busy trying to get everybody else to get theirs out and help them get that out.
But your course has been in Canvas for like 3 semesters now, so.
Yeah, I know, but I still just need to go back and get grades for a couple of years, because you have to have those for a couple of years.
Oh, good idea.
And, so I just need to jump in and get a couple of things out. Most of the stuff has been taken out. It's not a big deal, but I just suddenly realized I should probably do that. We shouldn't wait till tomorrow and be like, well, that's what we're talking about.
It's Monday, so touches
in code. I mean, in code.
Yeah, I will be there this afternoon.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick round of introductions, because we don't all know each other, I know. So you are just tell us your name and what
you're here.
What you're here for, yeah.
My name is Igor, and I'm GA here at the Outreach in some Campus and other things like migration. And I'm David Desormier. I'm the same as Igor, GA. Almost done with my PhD here soon. So.
Eric Jansen with Outreach online program.
And retiring.
Soon. I'm Jay Ingalls. I'm the manager of broadcast engineering. We support all of the 323 facilities statewide. Work with all of the ACs and DAs and whatever other acronyms are involved in teaching to all of the distance learning sites.
I'm Mary Lee Hunt. I'm a GA here and working on a PhD in literacy education.
I'm Jane Jenkins in kinesiology, and I'm the new Thai Fellow next year. Ah. It'll be great. There's no pressure with that.
I'm Debbie Beck. I'm one of those adjuncts, and I can speak to the critical importance of supporting your adjuncts. I appreciate those of you who do, are aware of it. And I'm use Can't Be Ready. So.
I'm Karen Williams. I'm a faculty member in Family and Consumer Sciences. I direct the Bachelor of Applied Science program, past Thai Fellow. And First Thai Fellow, inaugural. And I just, like a crazy person, took on being the interim university assessment specialist.
Oh boy.
I will be the other half of Erica while she. I know. So that's 65% of my time, and all of this is the rest of my time. So I'm working about 150 is what I think. Yeah. A momentary lapse. Pay for the next 12 months.
Were you sniffing some of
No, no, that might have helped me avoid this, but, no.
I'm Cody Connor, an instructional technology educational specialist here at Outreach. Working on Brightbook.
I'm Tanya Doucet, and I'm a faculty member over in instructional technologies.
Dan Scrabbit, work as an instructional technology education specialist for extension and also do some adjunct stuff for education.
Jeff Miller, and I'm one of the instructional design team up here.
And I'm Christy Bogman. I do know everybody here, but just as I think it's sometimes good to tell people what I actually do. I'm an instructional designer, and my area of expertise, or my area is kind of the research and development piece of Outreach. And so I work on new technologies and how to integrate them into our teaching and learning, and also a lot of faculty development. That's also really falls in my area very heavily. Right now, my entire life is Canvas, so basically.
Christy also teaches in the Bachelor of Applied Science program and sits on our management team for that.
Yeah,
we're eternally grateful.
Yeah, so that's just practice all my fun stuff. So as I have a list of things that we can talk about here. Nobody really sent me anything they want to talk about, which was kind of unusual, kind of quiet from this group. I'm like, seriously, nobody has any new toys? Come on. But today is the last day of e-college. Some of us woke up weirdly this morning. Ah! What day is it? I'm really gonna be embarrassed. I had to go ask Larry for the login.
That's great.
Start charging for it.
Yeah, exactly. But along with that comes this whole transition to Canvas, and this impacts pretty much everybody. I think whether you're on campus or teaching online or whatever you're doing in this campus, you're basically impacted by this. So I thought I would do a little bit of overview of what's happening with that. As I said, today's the last day to access e-college. All classes for the summer semester had to go to Canvas. We're calling WILE courses, and then everything from now on will be in WILE courses. Period. So that's where it is and where we're going and what's happening with that. It used to be this long process of, well, then this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Not anymore. It's happened. It's done. You're done. We're done. Except for we have stuff to get stuff out of e-college today, but that's where it is. So we've been doing it. So in the past, many of you have been involved with our summer boot camp in the past. This summer, our boot camp has been. Is Sarah on?
Sorry, a minute ago.
Here's Sarah.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh yeah, Sarah's here. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
chatting with her.
Okay. All right. So Sarah, introduce yourself. We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Clearly.
Because People in the background are getting dinner ready.
No, you're fine. Just introduce yourself to the room here.
I'm Sarah Lee. I teach for family. Wow, my mind's gone blank. Who do I teach for, Karen? Family and Consumer Science.
Sarah, yeah. Hi there.
Oh.
Added you
I
a
don't-
memo because I'm thinking, okay, we're having.
Well, I live in Germany, where I also teach first grade at an international school, and our school year just finished on Friday, and so that's part of my confusion because UW quit a long time ago, and so that I had to remember where I was. I guess that's who I am.
All right. Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah,
Sure.
who I've known since we were age 3, was my, in addition to the support here, was kind of my faculty mentor when I was first teaching online. She let me peek into her class. She took me on a class field trip to, I think, Indiana. Was it a class in Indiana? And she kind of would provide that faculty member's perspective. And she was doing that from Newcastle at the time, so it's lots of cool connections.
Well done, Sarah.
Lots of good people.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, we changed our boot camp in the past has been a week-long thing dedicated to technology and some variety of pedagogy. Last year it was a flipped classroom. This summer we decided we had such a demand for Canvas training that we would turn the summer boot camp into Canvas trainings. So we have 5. We will have 5 Canvas boot camps during the summer, like an entire afternoon on Wednesdays. The first 2 were introduction ones, and they're done. And the next one is July 9th. July 9th. Thank you. July 9th, and that one is going to be. They're all from now on. They're going to be more advanced. The first ones were just get in there and use stuff and figure out how stuff is. And they were really fast and interesting and probably a major firework. The next 3, there's going to be 3 more this summer, and then we will continue to have these things throughout the fall. But the next one is about grading and assignments. So we're going to be talking about the gradebook, speed grader, mobile apps, conditional release of things, and paths, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, or need to know a little more advanced stuff about, rather than just like how the gradebook basically works, like how to do some more complex things, you might want to join us for that. It's July 9th. It's not going to be in code because apparently the 3rd, 5th, or whatever floor, 5th floor of code is the floor zone, is what I hear. It's going to be in the business building. I don't know where it is yet. Meg is getting one. She told me, but I can't know where it is. So it's going to be in the business building, the next one on the 9th. But you can sign up for it online, or just email me and let me know. So that's what that's going to be. Then August 6th is going to be what we call in collaborations. So we're going to talk about the Big Blue Button, the conferences piece, the pad, and Google Docs in the thing. And we'll talk about features and stuff inside of Canvas. So that whole section is something that we didn't have at all in college. So that's everything in it we basically didn't have before. Kind of cool. And then on August 20th, we're going to have multimedia. We're calling it Multimedia and Beyond. So it's audio and video, captions, portfolios, copyright, adding apps, all kinds of like the really far down the list. If anybody has any real been teaching in this and you're like, oh, I am all about apps or e-portfolio or something, let me know. We will find people to do it, but we just
Are you demoing the e-portfolios?
Yeah, we'll show it.
I would like to see that because
that'll be
that's part of my other life.
Yeah. So those are the things. Those are the boot camp activities that I still have to go. By the way, if you come to these things, every time you come, you're going to get a raffle ticket. And I have boxes of cool stuff in my office. And I'm talking about seriously cool stuff, like what are they called, Cody? Galaxy Pet tablets and external hard drives and external power packs and pins that you draw and they record as you draw. I think it's called live scribes. I have some of those. I have some type tablets so that you can draw. I have a whole bunch of great stuff that I got with a grant. So If you come, then you get raffle tickets, and the more you come, the more raffle tickets you get.
We didn't get raffle tickets.
No, you did.
Because I am
Yeah,
signed
it's
up
for the
two
advanced
advanced.
tickets, right. So if you come to the,
Yeah, but
you
we
went
got
to one,
cool stuff.
yeah, you went to one, and the next one you're going to get two. If you come to the next one, you get 2 tickets. If you went to the first one, and if you go to the next one, you get 3 tickets. So that's how that works. So I had originally hoped to. So this is the cool thing. I'd originally hoped to just give people who came 3 or more times stuff, just give them stuff. But we've never had that many people come. So I thought, I'll buy enough stuff so we can just give them stuff. And it turns out we have so many people signed up and so many people coming that there's. So it's kind of cool. This is like the biggest. I know it's because people are desperate and have to change, but I'm kind of enjoying it for a change to have a lot of people at the training. So it's fun. We have 50 signed up for the next one. Wow. I've never had that many in my life. I don't even know what to do with that. That's like beyond expectation.
Had you filled that room? Is that your max?
No, I think the room that she got will seat 80 or something. But I don't even know how. I don't even know how we would do 80. I don't even know how we would do 50.
Like 50 is pushing it.
I don't know how we're gonna do 50 well. I think the problem is that it turns it into. I mean, it's just like having a giant classroom. It's very difficult to do much besides lecture.
Right.
But
luckily there are enough of us in the room.
Yeah.
Kind of run
Exactly.
It gives us some one
Exactly. So, yeah. So that's kind of the overview of the boot camp stuff. And then the other thing bunch of us, there were 10 of us at InstructorCon, which was the Canvas conference, which was wildly fun. Like it was maybe one of the best conferences I've ever been to. It was really great. It was fun, but it was also had some great information, some great sessions and stuff. I think that the people and the schools that have chosen to try Canvas was so young and kind of new and different. They appear to me to be pretty innovative, risk-taking type of people. So a lot of the presentations were a lot better than a lot of the ones I've been to at most conferences. So I thought that was great. And I thought we could just tell you a couple things about that, actually, some of the cool things that we saw there. And I don't know if anybody wants. Do you want to start, Cody, or if there's something you want to say?
Well, I'll let you start, and then I will.
I'll jump in. So a couple of things that they rolled out while we were there, and we were supposed to be able to play with, but I think we had a small miscommunication because they have a core shell for InstructorCon that we can go into, and so they made these 2 things part of that core shell, but we were not faculty in the core shell, so we couldn't actually use these things. So you had to be faculty to use them because they're faculty tools, but then you couldn't actually use them because you weren't faculty in the tool. But they're rolling out. Are they both the pole and the magic marker? When are they rolling out? They're rolling out soon, like July 1st or something.
Yeah, this week.
This week, I think. So they will be available soon. So basically, they have 2 new things that are going to be really cool. That one of them is a pole, so it's like a pole everywhere type of thing that is integrated straight into Canvas. So that's pretty cool. You can design it and you can make things up like on your phone as you're going. It's on the fly. It's really an awesome polling tool. There's a couple of, from my perspective, a couple of downsides to it. One of them, you can't do open-ended. You can only do multiple choice, and you have to do it from a computer or an iOS or a computer or a mobile device of some variety. But both of those are kind of make it not quite competitive with Poll Everywhere yet. But it's brand new, so it will probably get there. But as a quick. It might be kind of nice, it might be even kind of nice for an online class. You can just throw a poll out there instead of having to. And on an online class, clearly they have access to the computer, so that should be no problem with an online class. But I thought that was pretty cool. But it is a really, and I was trying to demo it, and I can't get into it because I can take a poll, but I can't actually create a poll. So that's unfortunate. And the other one is a thing called Magic Marker, which seems to be pretty cool. I'm a little fuzzy on what exactly how it works, but the deal is that if you're in this is basically for an on-campus class, okay? This might interest you actually, I think, and possibly you, because this is kind of more of a K-12 type of thing, I think. But what it is basically, you can set up a magic marker thing, which allows you to evaluate people as you're walking around a space really easily. So you can go through and say, oh, Johnny's doing what he's supposed to do here, and you check it, and you can just use your iPad, you just like move things around, and it will automatically for you.
So you might think about it as you have your iPad here and you have your 20 students on the left, but you have your students sitting in seats, so you can arrange those students so that they visually match your iPad interface. and then you can click on the student and give them grades or write down observations
I love
Yeah, our
that.
feedback evaluation.
live in the classroom.
It's really cool.
Because we use Canvas actively in iTech 2360,
Right,
even though
exactly,
it's an
that's what I'm
on-campus class.
Right, exactly. And so I think it would be very helpful. I mean, you can walk around and it's kind of for, I think this week, but we're not, I'll have to wait and
I
see.
can prototype it out. I teach iTech.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that it'd be helpful for, participation type points. It's great for that, right? Because you don't have to try to listen back and think, well, this,
Right.
you're just going to, as they participate, you're just
Check
going to check them and stuff like that. So you have this way of doing.
Will you have any like resources or training to learn how to use it?
Well, we'll see.
Or-
I'm sure they will do what we
Right.
want to do.
Okay.
They announced these features at InstructorCon, so we're like, oh, these are brand new, and we can't play with them yet, so
I see.
we're still learning.
So do you suspect that when they come out for us, that the instructor's guide then will be updated
Yeah.
with this
Yeah.
information?
Yeah.
Because those instructor guides are just so light.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect when they release these, that will be they'll
would think
release
so.
them with some kind of information.
Okay.
They were the whole thing. I don't think they require very much training. Like it was pretty easy. It was just like and you're just like whoa. I mean,
Right.
it was just really there was nothing to it. So,
There was one drawback to the whole, not only, as Christy said, does it not work with mobile devices, or I should say smartphones, or non-smartphones, so if you wanted to text it. The other thing is it doesn't integrate natively into Gradebook. You can still export out the responses and import those into Gradebook, but
you're trying to grade with it.
yeah, you're trying to take attendance that way or give participation points.
But I think do that with the other one. Could do hidden stuff with
That's right, with Magic Marker.
the
Yeah.
magic marker.
So you can keep the sickness from wanting to get to you.
Those are just a couple of the brand new ones, I think. Like I said, it was great and innovative. A lot of presentations on well, they just had a lot of great presentations, but on kind of some innovative teaching type things, and things that technologies and things that were really, really fun. I was going to see if anybody else, did you have something else in that? Why don't you take away something?
They had also in their new releases, they have. Let's see, they're going to improve their test statistics graphics a bunch, a whole bunch, I think, and they gave us a statistic that only 11% of Canvas instructors use exam statistics, and only
Because they're
7%
impossible.
use them more than twice or more than once.
Once.
And they said so they're
They're
trying to
terrible.
improve that, and they showed us some examples, but I don't know that I quite understood it. It looked a lot nicer. So that's coming.
Right now, the exam statistics go in and it'll tell you things like what percentage of class got this question right, or that kind of. But right now, it basically dumps down in a big Excel spreadsheet type thing, and it's really hard to read, which is why they only do it once. They read it and it's like, this is more trouble than it's worth, and they shut it off.
Can you like calculate statistics for like means and test score?
Yeah, I think it does that already,
stuff?
actually.
Wow.
But
It has really cool graphs that say, oh, here's question 1.
this is what it will do.
Right.
This,
Yeah.
this is not what it does for
And it will show you the reliability on the new one.
Yeah.
Your students who scored well on this test, well on this question, or something wrong. Students that got this question wrong did really well on your test. You might want to look at this.
Wow.
I think it's a lot more visually granular
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
That's a really good term, visually granular.
Yeah, I mean that was the sense I got when they showed it. But,
Yeah,
and then they have some other thing, and I don't like something since it was superhero themed. They said Canvas is introducing Spidey Sense, and it's a I think it's kind of like I guess what I think of it as is sort of a at-risk student thing for students, so they can learn. That's a learning mastery view for students. Green if they've mastered, red if they haven't.
So this is tied to the outcomes manager
Mhm.
in classes that you can tie in with a rubric. So the same statistics that instructors can see in Canvas, they're now opening that up for students to see that on the micro level. So as a student, I can check my progress. Or as an instructor, you can check their progress against the whole class. Essentially lets the students know how they're doing on that roadmap through mastery for those different outcomes that you set for them.
Yeah, that's all I have in my list. I mean, I think
Of the new stuff, yeah. So I mean, as a reminder, if you guys didn't know that, Canvas updates its system every 3 weeks. So things are constantly changing. We get every 3 weeks we get a message that says, here's what's going to be updated this week. If they're really exciting, then we will sometimes tell people, but sometimes we just there's so often it's little incremental things that we're not worth blasting about. I lost it.
I might talk about, it might lead into draft state. Which
That's
is,
where it was going. Yes,
Okay.
go on.
Right.
Talk about draft state. Thank you.
Yes, so
That's where it was going.
right now in Canvas, if you edit a quiz, where you create a new quiz, you'll notice there's that like place where you get done with the quiz and you have to publish it. Canvas is bringing that feature to every tool and asset in Canvas. So you can create an assignment and save your progress, but not publish it so the students can see it, but your work will still be saved. You can create pages and save those in draft state and publish them at a later date. You can publish modules and module assets in the same way. Same with threaded discussions. So this rollout will apply to every Canvas asset.
So will there no longer be an overall publish? Or how does that work?
I think there'll still be an overall.
There'll still be an overall?
Yeah, we'll still see a course published, I think, at the very beginning. But what this will do is allow you to create all of your assets. And I think the problem they're trying to solve is that when you go into your course and you say, oh, here's a new assignment, your students are notified, Cody has created a new assignment. And then they go and they look, it's like, it's blank, what is this?
Yeah.
So it allows you to formulate that entire assignment before you hit that publish button, so that by the time your students see it, it's fully rolled out. It also allows you as an instructor more flexibility to create and work on your course at times that work best for you, so that you're not forced to, well, I have to go right now, so I'll just save my work and then publish it, which is what happens right now. You can save it and then come back to it later. But this will affect, again, every tool.
Every single tool.
Yeah.
And one thing about it that is important to know is that the default is unpublished. So if you make something and create it and you're going to town and blah, and then you save it, it's done, it's not done. You have to publish it. So that's something to keep in mind. That seems that talking to other people who are supporting faculty, they said that a lot of faculty were getting confused because they kept thinking they published it and they didn't. So that was
everything automatically drafted. You have to
yes.
choose.
No, it's automatically drafted.
So this feature was released in January, or at least we were told about it in January, and then I think it kind of went from beta to live in March. And we've kind of held off, I think, because at that time we were just feeling like that wasn't the best thing to give everyone Canvas and then say, oh, there's just one major change, good luck.
Yeah.
But we no longer have the option to hold off. I think, I can't remember the date exactly. It's sometime next week, or July. The first week of July. Maybe that is this week.
This week.
It becomes like live.
We're not holding it
Or maybe it's July 9th. Or maybe it's July. It's very soon.
It's before we.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an important piece, I think, actually.
Well, the great news is that because so many other schools have been using this since March, there's really great documentation and best practices out there already. So it should be pretty easy for us to, if we have or run into problems. There's great instructor guides, great boards on, or discussion boards on how people use it, and again, best practices. So it should be easy for us.
I think the one thing that was really impressive to me about this conference was, especially to this group, I think would be interesting, is that so Canvas's model is kind of this commercial open source. So it's commercial, but they put the source code out there. And so what that I mean, I was aware of that, and I thought, yeah, that's a vague, silly thing. But I went to several presentations of faculty members who were actually able to do with more advanced than I would want to be necessarily, but being able to really customize their courses in some really extreme ways. Like there was a guy who was doing gamifying, who was able to do some stuff that was really cool. And I was like, I really want to do that. I am not going to spend the time to figure out how to write that code.
No.
But what it did do was, what it does do is now that we have this really great, I mean, we really feel like we have a, surprisingly to me, with my background did not automatically take me here, a really great relationship with the IT group that's helping us with Canvas. And I think that, if there's stuff, so the idea is that if you see stuff that people are doing and you're really interested in it, we can get IT to do some of the stuff for us, and create some of these options for some really cool, I mean, like already they went over there, and one of the things that was intriguing to them was the menu bar. There was a way, somebody had figured out a way to make the menu bar sticky, which means that as you scroll down, the menu bar stays at the top of the screen, right? Well, somebody else had figured out how to do that, and so the IT guys went, and now ours will do that. I don't know when they're going to do that. Is it out already? So I mean, it'll be live in ours just because they saw that, and so they're very they're being very helpful with us. So the flexibility that Canvas has, we have. Well, I mean, right now we're just trying to get people like wading in. That's what we're trying to do right now. But the flexibility for some advanced, really amazing things is built into the system, and we just have to I mean, as we go through things, if you're just like, man, I really want to do this, talk to us about it. Because before you'd say, I really want to do this, and we would say, okay, any college, you can't really do that. But this is the 600-step workaround to make it happen, do kind of what you want to do. And now I think that there's some, I mean, not every little thing that we might want to do are we going to be able to do, but or are we going to be able to find somebody to write code to. But I think that we have an opportunity to really do some cool stuff. And so, you know, having even a broader mind than we already have about what is possible and capable, what we're capable of doing in LMS is really, you know, throwing it out there and saying, I'd really like to be able to do this. And it's an amazing, there's some amazingly creative things going on that I was really impressed with.
I would agree. Having our IT team there, I think.
The IT team in group went too, and so it was really
we had
nice.
Sam and Jewel from IT, and I think for them to see firsthand, this is how other schools are leveraging this really open API to do just really crazy cool things. We've not had that before. It was this group that went to the Pearson Site Conference, and we didn't have the flexibility or the openness in eChallenge that we have campus. And when Christy says they're doing really cool things, they're doing like things I look at them and I'm thinking, oh my God, how did you do that? That doesn't happen often to me.
I know, that happened to me too. I was like, I mean, I went to the one game one and I was like, this is so cool. I have no idea I could that. Like, I mean, I knew that I could. He was explaining how it was done and everything, and I was like, I understand this process, but that's going to take me too long to figure out. Like, this is not going to happen. But still, if he's figured it out already, and he was giving out all of the information and all the codes and everything, and so, you know, there was a way, if you wanted to spend time doing that, you could figure it out. It was cool. I mean, he was able. So this is one of the frustrations I have with like the game classes. I want to have a leaderboard. So this is just one example where you want to have a leaderboard, but then I have to have a sectional grade book. Then it's just complicated because there's no way to do a leaderboard, an anonymous leaderboard. But he had it all coded that he had an anonymous leaderboard coming from the grades straight into the on the front page. It's way cool. Wow. You know, it was quite cool, and I was like, that is really neat. Not something I probably have time to do, but not at this point. Maybe if I get everybody on to Canvas, then I can start thinking about that kind of stuff. But it was neat, you know. I mean, that was just a simple thing, and he was also found a way to just make Easter eggs throughout the entire course, which you just click on them and they just collect them, you know. And this is just cool. So it was neat. So.
Did they iframes? Once upon a time we tried to do iframes.
Yeah.
Did they get?
Iframes work. It's the JavaScript iframes that don't work. So because of the nature of the way that Canvas is hosted, bad JavaScript will break the system. So if you're trying to embed, say, a Vimeo file, you'll want to do it within an iframe. And that's non-negotiable, as we've learned. Not ideal.
Okay.
But you can do other kinds of iframes. You can embed other stuff. And there's lots and lots and more all the time. Apps that plug into it that are pretty straightforward. We've already had a bunch of faculty plug in textbooks. Rachel plugged in a text. It was an online book site. Like it was a website attached to a book, and they managed to plug it into Canvas, and it was seamless. And she was really pleased with it. Actually, the students loved it. There was a way for them to kind of test themselves on certain topics without being without the consequences. So the students really liked it. So and there's been a lot of those. We're integrating a math one. What is the math one? My math lab. Is that what it is?
My math lab.
That's we're working on getting that integrated. And so there's a bunch of stuff that integrates well, and already things that we already had integrate well. Like we haven't worked it out yet. But Poll Everywhere is supposed to integrate. We haven't actually done it yet, but it will integrate so that it can pull it up from one end of Canvas. And then also my evaluation toolkit also integrates into Canvas.
Yeah, that's right.
And so as soon as we get that going, that would be great for evaluation. Just kind of in their shells.
And that's really easy. I went to that session and I talked to Michigan Tech, just did it, and I asked, so it doesn't cost, there's not an extra cost, you can just integrate it. He said that their IT people did it pretty quickly, like in a few hours. I think the difficult thing is prior to the integration, you've got to figure out who has that, but sort of your organizational chart sort of thing. That's the hardest part, but it sounded great. And so when the evaluation's open, it shows up in the nav bar, course evaluation.
That's awesome.
And then when it closes, it disappears. And They said they had Michigan Tech said in their pilot they had a 78% rate, which was just like
Stunning for an
but
online
it
one.
was just not too long ago, and then their first full semester, it wasn't a pilot. They had a 66%, but it was
Still good.
That's
but it
fine.
was
That's
but it
really
was
good.
better than their
Online.
prior.
Really good.
providers.
We get very low.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there anything
I think
else?
it's just a matter of doing that. Like they're getting everybody on board to do it.
I think it's the same thing with poll everywhere, but we just haven't done it yet. We just need to do it. Probably need to do that before the August 20th one, because that would be the good time we're showing out.
Yeah. I just have been so previously when we talked about apps for something like Canvas, we've had to install them at the system-wide level. And something that I think is really cool about Canvas is that we've given a lot of power to teachers. So teachers can decide on course start and end dates. They can decide if the course is published publicly or if it's syllabus book. There's just so many settings that you control as an instructor that I think it's just good practice. Speaking of apps can be installed at the course level too. So if you want to pilot an app just in your course, that's very easy, and we turn it on, or you can turn it on just for your course. And I just love that we have that micro level control of these macro assets. I think that we haven't quite explored all that yet, but I'm excited as we move forward. So if you're interested, as Chrissy said, trying something, let us know.
If no, we'll try to help you as much as we can. That's how we learn at this point.
Yes.
Just having somebody jump in there and ask.
We don't know, but we'll find out.
So, you guys have any questions about any of that stuff? Or any about? It was cool. It was cool. So I was going to say that generally, or fairly often for these meetings, we have some kind of presentation or demo of some technology, but we didn't have it this week. Because we just came back from the instruction and we were all like, ah. So we didn't have anything really awesome. We couldn't demo the new thing, but would have liked to. I think I was kind of hoping to demo poll and magic cards, but I do have one question I want to think about. Help me out with. I'm currently working on a new faculty development program that will you will be able to achieve. You'll get your courses can be rated, so you can think of it as like a gold, silver, bronze rating. So you can achieve a specific rating. I'm working on that kind of stuff. I've been working on it for a while now, actually, but I don't like the gold, silver, bronze thing very much. I would like to do something a little more unique. And I went to at the Canvas one. Somebody else was doing a similar thing, and they were a school district that was in Park City. So they did. If you're familiar with ski resort signs, they did the green circle, the blue square, and the black diamonds as their levels for achievement for faculty and for the classes. The idea is that you would have, we'll create rubrics that will say if you want to be a bronze level, then you need to meet these criteria and do this, and then you can get a bronze level rating. And you can do that by, we might be able to do that by department and but certainly we'll start by faculty.
Is this more for like quality purposes, or is it
I was
more
going to
just
ask
for
if it's
overall?
the QM.
It's not a QM exactly. It's partly part of it is part of the point is that a lot of times faculty don't even know what's possible. So if you throw a bunch of rubrics out there that say, here, if you want to be bronze, you need to do these, and they're like, we can do that. And they're excited about it. So part of it is it's not just about, it's about just kind of giving them an opportunity to say, hey, my class is good.
Right.
And try something new and see what makes a good class. Show them we get all the time. I get questions say, can you show me an example of a good class, right? And the trick with that is that just throwing somebody into a good class is not meaningful in any way. Like that does not help them to throw them into a shell. That's a good class necessarily. On some levels it does, there's some organizational things, but it really have to be, it's different, I guess. It's not as helpful as walking into a classroom and seeing what somebody's doing necessarily. And so the idea is to kind of give them some guidelines and say, here are what are elements of a good online class. And they're not mystery. We all know what they are, but we do, but not everybody else does, and they don't know. And it gives people something to just kind of strive for and go for. A couple of other, I started looking at a couple of other people to find that, then departments will say, well, 60% are gold rated. and that's a marketing thing. And faculty can say, I have all of my classes are at least bronze rated. But like I said, I don't like these terms. So that's the idea, kind of. It's kind of, and then we have, the same stuff we always have, trainings and activities and stuff to help get these things up. So the question I have is, what are the levels? What are the gold, bronze? What do we call those in Wyoming? We don't want to do the ski resort ones. So what do we call them in Wyoming? This is the question I've been asking everybody. I've been asking students. I've been asking faculty. I've been asking random people on the street. What do you call these things in Wyoming? And I would tell you some of the ones people give me, but I'm going to wait and see if they can put them.
Sarah says I-80, I-90, I-25.
I-25, you get to go 80 mostly on I-25, so. And 90 as well. So I-80.
Not that one yet.
I think that to this is that we want something that's motivating.
We do, yeah.
And
the thing I like about the ski resort ones, is that yes, there is a hierarchy there, but you can just choose to do the green level if you want. Like that seems like something that's reasonable. You're still skiing, right? But you can choose to go down the green runs if you just don't like doing more, and that's what I like about that. As opposed to, again, bronze, silver, gold is a ranking of you lost if you don't have the gold. That's one. That seems pretty much impossible.
Steve would probably say heights of peaks.
That is actually one of them.
He would come up with those because it's always a great adventure, even if you're not doing a 14er.
Yep.
You could do a Medicine Bow as a 12-something and then a 13-something and a 14.
That one has come up. And mountain range as well. Different ranges. So I think
Antelope, deer, and elk. Elk are harder too.
Yeah.
But where's the moose? Because that's what I would strive for, is moose, not the other, right?
We could have the
it
coolest little moose
it can
logos.
be more than breed too.
Jackalope, antelope, and Sarah also says
I
jackalope.
love it. Antelope and something low.
I don't want to confuse us with the lottery, but
The lottery?
the new lottery logo is a jackalope.
Oh. I was like,
Yeah, right. Mythical and unattainable.
mythical and unattainable. Perfect.
How about rafting waters? I mean, if we could think of
Rivers.
rivers. Yeah.
Rafting.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to come up with yet, but I might eventually. Boat. Also had things that were like law enforcement, like deputies, sheriffs, marshals, type of thing. There's another one that went out there. I heard it staring.
I'm with you, Sarah. I don't like that one either.
She said, she asked what the lottery was about, and I said, why am I developing a lottery? And essentially last year, Sarah and the legislature decided we wanted to make some more money, and the way we're going to do that is by selling people tickets for things they're not going to win for people who are bad at math. So.
Who have no money to
And the people
actually
who
spend
have
on
no
those
money.
things, but will anyway.
Will
More
be
important,
yeah.
So if you come up with any, if you like wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my god, I have the perfect thing, just let me know. And I also will probably, be, if anybody's particularly interested in this project, you'll probably be involved in this project. If anybody's particularly really, and you don't have enough time. Probably.
Yeah, that's never stopped me before. But I'm already writing the faculty manual for our department on one of your grants. And if I knew this is the thing, I could build some of those quality standards.
So if you're interested in that, I will probably, I will start. I have been information gathering to this point and seeing what other people have done.
In terms of, you're going to have Canvas specific in terms of what it takes to.
Yeah, it's not
quality online.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that.
Okay, cool. It's not Canvas. I'm not probably going to be like specific tools, but it's not really a good online class. It's not about specific tools. It's about specific pedagogy and how you use the tools. So I'm not. I mean, there might be tools thrown in there occasionally as an example of a way you can engage students.
The things that I would not want to see is like when I think of the Pace University trainings for their online certificate, they sort of use the QM standards, But then it was more about, well, have you accessed the thread
Yeah.
3 times in a week?
And, you know,
that kind of thing, I don't think is quality.
No,
really.
and that's not
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not what I'm after, and that's
That's
why I'm
great.
not just using TM, right?
That's
Because I'm
good.
not actually those, and I'm always kind of like
Some
I
of
don't.
it isn't.
Some of them
Yeah.
it's so detailed, so prescriptive that you're kind of like just getting in 3 times a week is not good quality. That's just not the way it works. And so I'd rather do something a little less.
You're right. No, put dinosaurs.
What dinosaurs?
Oh, dinosaurs.
Yeah. Oh, dinosaurs.
That dinosaurs is awesome because Wyoming certainly is home to a lot
Sarah
of that.
says Coltrona, and what else do we mind?
Uranium.
Uranium.
Oh, is it-
I don't want to do that. I refuse to do that.
The legislature
sorry,
might
Sarah,
like
that
that. You might
sucks.
get extra
I know,
money
but
if
I
you do
refuse.
that.
I refuse.
But look at all the money we get from SCR. I mean,
Don't even get me
started on
refuse.
my college.
You have a
years.
Sell
power
yourself.
course.
What do you think?
I know. That one actually came up once before. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that one. Just get over it. I refuse. There's enough old uranium
Sarah
stuff.
says, sorry, Christy, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, enough of it. I refuse. The other thing that we need to think about as we go through this is actually how do we assess these? How often? Like
And who assesses
and who
because,
assesses them,
yeah,
and
that's
how
an
it's done,
issue.
and you know, I mean, and I don't think we want it to become. Do not want this to become my job to be continuously assessing classes.
I always like the idea of peer assessment.
Up
peer
here, or
assessment.
even to start with a self-assessment.
Yeah,
so
and
that people.
that's where I was going to start. I was thinking about if you would give them all the stuff, and then they would assess themselves, and they would say, "Oh, I think that I might be this," and then maybe you just.
Because we were talking, Christy, about how we walk into a classroom and we can, see quality there. Not necessarily.
I know.
I mean,
That's
if you
actually
don't
true,
name
actually.
it, people can't see
No,
it.
that's true.
And,
It's true.
and you're going to have to name this first so people can see
See
it.
it,
Once
yeah.
they see it, they go, aha, which goes back to
Correct.
your point.
And I think we would want to start. I mean, maybe we could start with Family Consumer Sciences or something, a department to see how that would work. A small one. We would start with online. ECTL is very interested in moving this to campus, but I don't want to start with campus. I don't even know where to go with that. Honestly, I mean, I don't even know where to go with that anyway, because I think they want to move it to on-campus classes,
Well,
and that's
we're
just
already
beyond
starting under a grant of yours, and we're already doing a mentoring project for our
Yeah, yeah,
adjuncts.
yeah.
This would fit really well with
So,
that
yeah.
as just an extension of what we're doing.
Sure.
And because it's also assessment, it would, and I'm running this project, it would kind of fit in with, I could justify time. That's what
I see how this happens.
All right,
Karen.
let's turn the floor open for cool things. I know you guys know some have come run across something cool. I know that Stan always has something over there. Surely you have something. Come up with.
I have been diving into podcasts like
Oh, yeah, I've
crazy,
been seeing
so that is that's been great. It's changed how I do things. I used to just rock out when I walk. Now I'm listening to podcasts and writing notes all the time, and driving to podcasts and writing notes, and so a lot of good stuff there. I'm because of that, I'm actually going to do a vodcast out of it. Start doing one on a regular basis.
Cool.
So that'll come out probably.
Dan, what software are you using for the podcast?
The program I'm using is Pocket Cast from my Android, and then I use Clementine for my desktop.
Are they free downloads, or how does it work?
Pocket Cast, it cost me $2
So
maybe.
you just do it right from the phone, basically, and it downloads?
No, this is for listening.
Oh, okay.
To listen, to subscribing to various podcasts. So, the podcast I'm going to do, I'm doing in Camtasia.
Okay.
So, I had one already set up, but it was a little too large for YouTube, so I have to redo it and trim some. So, but I'm also taking 2 MOOCs this summer. One is called Teachers Teaching Online. Very cool stuff. There is some amazingly cool stuff in there. Shelley Terrell was one of the lead presenters. She was supposed to have, be doing your course, 15 plus things. She really hit the plus part. So in an hour, she just saturated. Just all kinds of activities and ways to do things. Yesterday, I sat in a presentation talking about Google Apps, and some of the stuff, and that was really good. And then the other, and they're doing it through WizIQ. Not necessarily married to that one, but the other.
Who would like to use the platform?
Yeah, it's a e-learning platform. Yeah, I have to write them a note because there's you go in and do an activity and you can't get back to your course ever anywhere. There's not a link anywhere. So
The Canvas has a MOOC platform that they just go in. They have a whole. One of the Canvas people was talking to me about it. I mean, they have an entire group that just helps you create MOOCs.
No, nice.
Essentially for free.
Nice.
So if anybody wants to do a MOOC, you can do that.
The other one that I'm taking is an entrepreneurial educator. I just started that one. But they're doing it in Canvas, and I really like how they just kind of set up the course. A lot of stuff for students. Hey, here's how to use the Canvas platform. They just did a nice job with it. So I haven't participated in that one much yet. So, and that's what I got going on.
So when you do, are you getting badges for them? Are you just doing it for your own? Because with MOOCs you can
Sure.
do certificates of completion, you can do all kinds of things.
For terms of service, you can't really take that certificate anywhere and get credit.
I just went to the WCET Leadership Summit on competency-based education, and there is a group who is now collecting, a national group, that collects badges and
Mozilla's been
moves
working
them
on that platform
towards,
for a while.
Well,
so I'm just curious as to
the
if
teachers
there
teaching
any,
online, that one is a certificate. It's more for my edification. So,
yeah.
I'm going in there and trying to figure out, ways, techniques, squirreling them away that I can help somebody else if someone's, has an idea. Hey, I'm interested in this.
Yeah,
Hold
exactly.
on. Kelly Terrell, she's doing this, and matter of fact, this is how you do it, and those kind of things. Yeah, it's just personal, professional development. So, that's fun.
I found an announcement this morning. The iTunes update coming.
Yeah, I posted on my Facebook.
I'll see that. I'm busy doing this morning.
Yeah, basically tomorrow. No, the 8th.
Yeah, tomorrow, the 1st.
Yeah, iTunes U has a major update coming, but it sounds like it's much more integrated. You can have discussions around.
It almost looks like a miniature LMS.
Yeah, yeah,
Going there. I've been going there for a while.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's much more of an all-inclusive kind of.
Only on iOS.
Yeah, that piece of it is.
Is that right? It's only available. What?
Yeah, it's only iOS. You'll be able to integrate video and pictures from your class into what you build in iTunes U. So it's going to take advantage of the built-in camera on the iPad. What was the other thing that they announced? You'll be able to give real-time collaboration within iTunes U, so you can create a class within it and then have your students participate. So if you're working with a group and you don't have access to Canvas for some reason, you could use something like that.
Looks like all of these features are aimed at being able to create content on the iPad.
Yeah. They're trying to retain, I think, those schools that are still heavy in iOS. Because Google is becoming more aggressive. I'm working with WDE to create cohorts for the state of Wyoming for teachers to do Google App training. At the end of the year, WDE will pay for any teacher who wants to get their Google Teacher Cert.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have mine, so that's why I'm working with them on it, and I'm putting in for the Google Teacher Academy in December. But WDE is really getting on the Google bandwagon too.
And Google is mobile focused.
Yeah.
Everything they're doing is for mobile devices.
And this summer
Then
they're
it goes
rolling out
back
like
to
6 new
desktop.
tablets.
The new, they talked about this at InstructorCon too, actually. I mean, I just thought. It's somehow tied in my brain to InstructorCon. I'm not sure why.
Mobile?
No, talking about the Google Classroom.
The new LMS from Google, yeah.
Not out yet.
No.
It's not out yet, is it? We know when it's coming out.
I thought it was going to be out already. But
I thought it was, but I think you have to be a Google Apps for EDU subscriber
Maybe
to
that's
use
what it
it,
is. Yeah,
and that's the problem. None of us can get in.
None of us can get in. That's what it is. That might be it. That might be the problem.
Because I remember when it was announced, I was like, ah!
Yeah, yes. That might have been it.
I'm actually going to see if maybe WBE is looking at setting up Google Apps for Education statewide, and maybe we can get a backdoor in.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Because we're also launching a new intern, speaking of course evaluation, they have the distance learning education grant through WBE for schools.
Yeah.
And I'm working with them to launch their first intern this fall, and that intern's responsibility will be evaluating course materials developed under that grant, identifying best practices, which one's the best of the best, and then also that intern will help them revise the grant specifications for the next fall.
Good fun. All right, it is 11. If anybody else has anything else they would like to say, I promise we will have more exciting presentation next time. So I thought that was some information you guys might like to know anyway.
I think moving forward, if you have feedback or suggestions for how we should be utilizing Canvas or experiences that you've had with Canvas, right? I think we're at that pivotal stage now where we've turned it on, right? It's the standard for all UW courses moving forward. It'll be our job to stay abreast of the latest, how we can best help teachers use it. And the group of people in this room, I think you are the most demanding users of Canvas. So if there's things that you want or that you see or experience that you've had, we can learn from you. So please try with Reckless Abandon and let us know how it goes. And if you have complaints or problems, lean on us heavily.
And for students who get their accounts blocked by instructor because they took up too much file space. Yeah, that was fun for my multimedia development class.
You know, we can
had some.
We can actually work with that. You know, I mean, like
I'm looking at using part of our departmental budget just to pay the $12 a month for an external server for having massive file hosting, and then plug that into Canvas. That's my goal.
That might be one of the more direct ways to go about it.
I wonder if Box integrates with Canvas.
Ooh.
I did see them at InstructorCon.
I did too.
I wonder if they do it.
I think they do.
That would be.
That would be the way to go.
And everybody's excited about Google Cardboard. I don't know if you've heard it.
I have not heard of Google Cardboard.
It's $1.99 Oculus Rift that they created. They handed it out at their recent conference.
And I
That's where Google napkins, Google plates.
Seriously?
But they have plans. You can build your own, but basically
it's a VR kit.
It's a VR kit.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool though.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't seen that one. I don't know how I missed that one.
They're getting a little cocky over there.
Well, what they were doing is kind of poking out and like, wow, Facebook bought it for millions or billions.
Right.
2 million. So, hey, here's one for 99.
Well,
I saw this in a headline that had something like WTF Google.
Could have talked about the Facebook rent.
Oh,
geez. Right now.
Oh God.
I would love to try to get that study past IRB.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that going to
Yeah, I was thinking the
They
same.
didn't bother. Big problem.
Well, no, supposedly they did do an IRB at.
It was Cornell.
Was it Cornell?
It was
I was
Cornell.
thinking, I had read in mine. I was like,
didn't hear that
Stanford, Cornell, no.
It was Cornell.
Yeah, their IRB approved the study.
Yeah.
I was reading it on Slate yesterday.
Yeah, and they
Because there's
approved
2 university
Although-
faculty affiliated with this. One at UC Santa Clara,
Remember that
and one at Cornell.
Maybe he wrote it.
Right?
I'm sorry. I
No,
forgot about
what
that.
did it
The
say?
That was
devil
very
is
well
just
done.
Sitting right
Very
here.
well
We all know
played.
his ethics are wrong.
Yeah,
What's the study on?
Saying they killed
Oh,
his
basically
joint
they
department like
manipulated
ours.
your news feed
He's in the
without your knowledge. Control, they changed the algorithm so that you would
Oh my
see
God,
only
what would
neutral
they
status
think?
updates or only negative status updates. And then they monitored your posting habits to see were you posting happy things or sad things.
And they found when you saw negative things, you posted negative things.
Shocker.
Imagine
Yeah,
that.
right. Ooh. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Well, they got
they're
a study on
arguing that the
Fox
terms
already.
of
That's already
service
known.
gave them the right
Yeah.
to do this study.
And everybody all upset, and they were totally manipulating
It was like 700,000 users.
So
It wasn't
there's
a
no
small
control
subset.
group? No.
Yeah, the
That's what the
methodology is questionable on
Yeah,
top of the
on top of
IRB.
the IRB.
Wow.
And they, one of the one I read said that
And
they
it got
thought that they had
published by
gotten the
PNAS.
IRB after they had done it too.
They got posted by 3D.
Yeah,
Even the editor for PNAS, she even voiced concerns
Yeah,
about
she
it.
did.
Have you gotten something through the IRB here lately? I mean, I just went through
It's
4
traumatic.
months for a survey going to 4-H kids.
It's
For
gotten
sure.
Yeah.
it's gotten worse at
Yeah.
almost every
But
institution.
there's 8
Except for Cornell.
Except for Cornell.
Right. I'm thinking
And
of
then,
this
like,
like
the
Georgians
Facebook-
like dropped out of doc programs because they couldn't get their IRB.
And they said there's basically there's